Hey world, I'm Colin.
I'm Dallas.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Jesse.
And we're the Reshoots, bringing you our thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming.
Woo!
And today we're joined by our friends Justin, Demi, and Jesse Ray.
Yeah.
Show of hands who liked the movie.
I feel bad for that microphone right now.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that pretty much all of us loved it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
So
going in, I thought it was going to be great. I wanted it to be great. Spider-Man was the best part of Civil War, for me, anyway.
For a lot
But,
of people.
man, this was better than I thought it was going to be. It was just so much fun. And, I don't know, it was weird because tonally it was kind of in line with all the Marvel movies have been kind of about being heroic and hope and love and all that. But this felt so much more sincere, I think, maybe because he's so young.
Yeah.
That when he's talking about being a hero and stuff like that, just this movie really sold it.
Come on, Spider-Man.
Come on, Spider-Man.
Oh my
I
god.
love this movie.
Spoiler review.
Yeah.
This is spoiler review.
Spoiler review.
Spider-Man Homecoming picks up after Civil War, and we find out what Peter Parker is doing with his time and how he's balancing life between being a superhero and being a teenage boy. So yeah.
Also, there's a homecoming dance and Birdman shows up.
Yeah.
I've been having a debate, an internal struggle.
Oh my
of,
god, here we go.
What's the best
What is
movie of
what
the
is
year?
the best movie of the year?
Did Spider-Man
We had
get-
Logan.
Oh my
With
God.
Wonder Woman, we had Baby Driver, and they were fighting for dominance. They can all step
Yeah, suck
aside
it, yeah.
because Spider-Man Homecoming.
It's a
is
fight for
hands
number
down
2
my
at
favorite.
this point.
My favorite movie of
Really?
2017.
Even
so
more
far.
than Logan?
More than Logan.
Really?
I liked
I
it more
would
than
say
Logan.
more
I
than- No,
loved
yeah,
Logan,
definitely.
but
Definitely more than
this-
everything.
Dude, I saw this one and I was like, I have to see this at least 2 more times.
Mhm.
And the answer is yeah. Even
Yeah.
if I have to
Yeah.
pay for it.
A few of us sitting here have actually seen it twice in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, so-
Yep.
Raise your hand if you have. Not me, because I had to work.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, how'd you feel about this portrayal of Spider-Man?
I really liked it. At first, I was not too certain about it because
sure.
I have
Everyone.
I'm biased towards the original ones, But actually, yeah, I would say the same thing that it's a lot better than I thought it was to be.
That Andrew Garfield really left a impression on you, huh?
You
I
know,
feel-
you know what? Andrew
No.
Garfield
No, he was
okay.
great.
He was
No, I thought
great.
he was
I felt
great.
so bad.
actually.
He was a good Spider-Man. He
And
wasn't too
terrible
good of
Spider-Man
a...
movies.
He was too, good looking of a Peter Parker.
And
To be fair, Tom Holland's a very
No,
good-looking
he is,
man.
but he's, awkward and, 15 looking. He
Okay.
looks like a child, so it's
He tiny.
yeah.
He like this big.
He's not that tiny.
He
I
was
know
tiny.
we've seen him.
He-
Me and you were also very tall. Yes, we have seen him in person. Me and Jesse have seen Tom
Yeah,
Holland in
they
person.
went to the Spider-Man premiere.
And you can hear
did.
more about that on the Double Tap podcast later.
That's right.
Um,
That should be the thumbnail. Just a picture of us and Tom Holland. These other people need not apply.
I honestly haven't seen any of the other ones. I played the game. Yeah.
I forget you're 12.
Oh, yeah, he's 15.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, I like Tom Holland playing Spider-Man. Favorite part was after he tweeted or Instagrammed something about his favorite prop on the whole set was the Death Star, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I was like, yes.
I have a question about that.
What?
So in Civil War, he said, "You guys remember
Remember
that
that
really
really
old
old
movie,
movie,
The Empire Strikes Back?" In this movie,
He's a
Yeah.
avid
he's
Star
a
Wars
huge
fan.
Star Wars
He's a
nerd.
Star Wars
Which
nerd.
one is it, Tom
Well,
Holland?
my thing
It's
is maybe
both.
so seeing that maybe he just feels like he doesn't want to come off as too nerdy.
Is that what
to
it
the
was?
Avengers.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
probably.
so.
He's just like,
I mean,
oh,
he already
guys.
comes off too nerdy to the nerds at his school, so maybe
True.
he just doesn't want to come
Okay.
off as nerdy to Tony Stark.
Okay.
Maybe
who's probably
that's
the
what it
king of
was.
nerds.
That's what I
Right?
Or-
Yeah.
It's Tony Stark.
They just
Yeah,
wrote
I
them
don't know.
different
He was just,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, even Civil War and even in this movie, is his thing is he's trying to impress Mr. Stark. So I guess maybe.
This is very true.
Yeah, I gotta say, Tom Holland is definitely my favorite portrayal of Peter Parker
Me
slash
too.
Best.
Spider-Man. He's literally the epitome of Spider-Man. You can tell this boy
Yeah.
has been training his entire life to be Spider-Man. his dad even tweeted last night. He was like, "Yeah, me and his mom have been preparing 21 years for this movie."
Well, yeah,
So
he was
happy.
a dancer, then he did ballet, then he did gymnastics through the dancing.
He did all that for Billy Elliot when
Yeah.
he was doing on stage plays back
Exactly.
in England. So he's such a talented kid, and I also think one of the best parts about Tom Holland is, I don't know if a lot of people realize, but he's really good at the really emotional stuff.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I mean, you can see that in The Impossible.
Oh, dude,
But
yes.
to come and see this, there's a really, really big emotional scene that Tom Holland has to do that.
Come on,
This-
Spider-Man.
It's a
We
spoiler. It's
mentioned
a
that one.
spoiler
Yeah,
review,
it's
so we're
probably-
good.
Yeah,
You can
we'll
talk
mention
about
it
it.
later most likely, but it's probably the biggest emotional scene in almost any Marvel movie that has come to pass. That moment is just, it's heart-wrenching.
You know what? That's a big one, but the one that I didn't notice the first time, but the second time was how emotional he gets in the boat scene when he's trying to stop the boat from
when
cracking in
he's-
half.
when he's-
No! Oh, I love that scene when he jumps in the middle and he's like, "I'm not letting this happen right now. I'm just gonna jump in the middle. I will come apart before this boat comes apart."
Oh my
I was like,
God.
But he has a
That's
lot of that because,
Spider-Man.
like, even when he's not Spider-Man, when he's talking to May, and he says, "I lost the internship,"
Yes.
he's like
oh
teary.
my
goodness,
God.
that's right.
He has so much emotion. I'm just like,
that one.
oh my god, I just
Yeah.
want to hug this kid.
He doesn't have Tobey Maguire's ugly cry face.
No, it's perfect.
Perfect.
No, Tom Holland is literally like the perfect Spider-Man. Like third time's definitely the charm. Marvel did right
They
by
got it.
casting him
Yeah.
because he is perfect.
Oh, so
I was super, super skeptical about this reboot. I was like, we don't need a third Spider-Man reboot.
Yeah,
But you know what, Marvel? I'm going to give it to you. It was really good.
yeah. I thought he was perfect.
I
since
have to
Civil War.
admit. Yeah.
Marvelous.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Dude,
He was amazing, spectacular.
Civil War had me
Very
super excited, and
amazing.
then like Tony Stark mentioned he was gonna go find somebody, and then the homie Chris, shout out to Christmas, the homie Chris was sitting next to me, and he was like, "Yo, Spider-Man." I was like, "Oh my god."
Honestly, I did the same exact thing when he says, "I have a plan," and she says, "Where's your plan?" And I was like, "Queen!"
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Also, I love that the movie started with that
With the Spider-Man
little
Oh,
theme
yeah,
song.
that was beautiful.
I
because-
hated that never came back in the movie.
It was fitting. I thought it did.
They
No, it
teased
didn't.
us with
They
it so
teased
many
it.
times.
Aw.
It was
They
like
had little
dun
hints
dun
of
dun
it,
dun
but
dun
you
dun dun
never
dun
saw
dun dun.
Aw.
Yeah, it would build it and then it.
I thought if it fit for anybody, it fit for this Spider-Man because he's like a kid.
And you're so
Isn't it the
excited.
first live-action Spider-Man to actually use the Spider-Man theme? Too?
I think so.
Are we
Or maybe?
counting? There's a reference to it in every movie.
But I think this is the first time where they've ever actually just taken
Dresses
or an
like a
orchestral version
spider,
of
he
the
looks
actual
like a
original
bug.
one.
We should all
I think
just
yeah, I
give
think the
him
first time was like in the
one
score or
big
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Look out!
I think it's the first Spider-Man score
Don't
that we've ever actually
Spider-Man.
seen. So, big ups to the
Marvel,
to the composer. I think that was Michael
Giacchino.
Giacchino.
that guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Giacchino?
Okay, let's talk about the Vulture. Colin, you got anything to say?
What you got? What you got?
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, they set up. It was interesting because the movie starts with him, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they play the Spider-Man theme and there's the Marvel logo, and then we're with the Vulture for a solid, like, 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
it works. It really works. I mean, he makes a solid villain. You understand why he wants what he wants, and you understand, like, why he feels the way he does because he had this job and it meant so much to him, and then it got taken away, so what is he going to do? Like, it works. I thought he was a really good villain. I thought Michael Keaton acted the part really well.
I was actually afraid of him.
Dude,
In the car when Peter
Oh,
when he
so
like
tense.
figures out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and he like lets the dog like okay, so Peter Parker has this huge crush on this
Is
girl
Spider-Man?
named Liz
Spoiler: Liz Allen is the daughter of Vulture.
Vulture. So he
The love
shows
interest.
up to like
Surprise.
pick up this girl for homecoming, and who opens the door? The like scary guy that he's like fighting against. And then that guy takes them to homecoming, and during the car ride, he figures out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Which,
So-
sorry to interrupt, but did anybody else for a split second think, oh my god, he's got our hostage in there? When I first saw Michael Keaton, I thought,
No.
oh, he figured out who he is, and like he's got him tied up in the basement.
Oh,
somewhere.
really?
No.
That was my
Oh.
for
I
a
didn't know what
second,
that
just
said.
for a second, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and then my
Yeah, I
brain
did.
caught up to my mind, and I was like, oh no, that makes
I have
sense.
to
Because
say,
he's wearing flannel.
I have to
so
say that I actually picked up on that plot twist way early in the movie.
Oh,
I
you
picked-
cheated
I
about
picked
that.
it up after the Washington D.C. trip when her mom comes to hug her because I knew Garcelle Beauvais was playing Michael Keaton's wife.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is not gonna end well.
I didn't even know she was in the movie. I was super. That was like the best surprise in the movie because I didn't see
It
it
was a
coming
good
at
twist.
all. I was
Jamie
like, oh
Foxx.
my god, it's Michael Keaton.
Jamie Foxx show fan?
Yes, I love her.
we don't mention
Like-
Jamie Foxx and Spider-Man in the same sentence.
Hey,
We didn't mention them in the
we'll
same
talk about that
sentence.
later.
They weren't in the same sentence.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's got Peter Parker in this car, and then Michael Keaton lets his daughter go ahead, and he busts out a gun, puts it casually
that
here,
gonna do against
and just
Spider-Man?
like, no, yeah, but like, just the way, it just was terrifying. He was scared, and he's like, you know what? You saved my daughter, so I'm going to give you a choice. You can step out of this car and walk through this door. It was frightening. It was like a Marvel villain I was actually afraid of. A Marvel villain that like I actually understood his plight. He was a well-rounded character.
I think a lot of comic book fans are going to be really happy about that because the Vulture is not.
No
that
one's ever cared
menacing
about the
in
Vulture.
the comics. He's like the second villain that Spider-Man ever faces.
Yeah.
And he's never really menacing. He's kind of just a nuisance.
Just a
to have
goofy
to
old
deal
man
with.
who flies
Yeah.
around New York, and it's like,
But
why?
they went and they made him very menacing and
They did because I was not happy when I found out that it was gonna be the Vulture.
I got excited.
Come
to see
on,
the
guys.
original Spider-Man villain
like,
that
don't-
nobody's done.
I was like, don't do that. But then I saw him and I was like, this looks dope. Like the green eyes and the whole.
and
The, like,
jet
flying
metal
suit?
I was like,
Yeah,
that
like
was
it.
cool.
Raimi wanted a Vulture in Spider-Man 3. That was the plan for Spider-Man. It was going to be the Lizard and the Vulture. So I hear. Such as the rumor. And then the studio made him put Venom in there.
Honestly, I heard that it was gonna be John Malkovich.
I was okay with
I heard
that,
that he was
though.
gonna
would
play
fit.
John
Which is
Malkovich's
fine.
Vulture? Yeah.
He actually looks like the comic book character.
He does. He looks just
Michael
like him.
Keaton does not look like the comic book character.
I mean,
But
they
yeah,
made it work.
it's fine. He's an old
Yeah, he
man.
doesn't look
Got
like him.
He's
little
old,
hair.
he's white,
Yeah.
a lot of hair.
Yeah. No, but I think we finally have a good... The common complaint about every Marvel movie is that the villain sucks. Unless their name is Loki. We finally have a good one.
I don't
Yeah,
have
another
that
good
complaint,
one.
but I do think this is the best MCU.
I like Zemo.
Well,
This...
I don't think they suck. I think
I
they're just
thought
kind
Loki was
of
the
empty.
best. But
Yeah,
he's
they're-
he's
They're
definitely
kind of
top
weak,
three.
They're just like there, you know.
Okay,
like
he's
I
top
said.
2.
We use
He's
that
the
as a
second
comparison
best.
for Wonder Woman, but Ares like the villain sucked. Ergo, like Marvel.
Yes.
The scene where he when he's realizing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and they're stopped at the red light
Ooh.
and his face is bathed in the red light and then as soon as he goes, what does he say? Like
Good
good
old
old
Spider-Man."
Spider-Man is what he says and the light switches to green. Right when he says it, I was like, directing.
That's very much.
I was
I
like,
thought the same thing when I saw it the first time. It was just
careful,
like,
your director's
green
showing.
It was so good.
So good.
It's such a good directorial.
Oh, it was great.
Also, that was such a good way to show that he figures it out because
Yeah, because it's like
he picked
cool.
like
No.
immediately. I'm just like from what she was saying. She was like, "Oh, you at the party for like 2 seconds," and he's like, "What?"
No,
And
no,
then
no,
she's
no.
like, "The same thing with DC. You like left, you missed everything," and he was like, "Okay." And I know your voice. I like
Yeah,
that
that
you
was
recognize the
good.
voice because
no one ever
No one
nobody
ever
ever
does
recognizes
that.
anybody's voice in these movies.
It
That
reminded
gets on my
me
nerves.
of the Thanksgiving scene from Spider-Man 1, where the Green Goblin figures it out. And
Yeah.
he's like carving the turkey. And he's like, "Oh, bike messenger ran
Mhm.
me over." It was kind of similar scenes.
Yeah,
There was
they
even
did
a
it.
knife involved.
They did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, "I feel like I know you."
Especially because
What-
Tom Holland has such a distinctive voice. So let's get to one thing that will probably be controversial and has been talked about for months.
Oh.
The character that Zendaya was playing, who has been said to be Michelle for the entirety of the publicity, and in the end, she reveals that her friends call her MJ.
Robin.
Can we
Dallas-
talk about Ned in a minute? I love
We will. We're talking
No,
about
we're
MJ right
talking
now.
about
Dallas,
MJ.
you and I have
Okay.
similar thoughts about this, so you go.
We do have similar thoughts. I think
For once.
her character was awesome. I loved her throughout the movie,
Mhm.
but not for MJ. This is
Yes.
nothing like any Mary Jane I've ever seen. You know, now she's not Mary Jane. She's Michelle
Jones.
Jones.
Michelle Jones.
Michelle
Cool.
Jane.
Michelle Jones.
Michelle Joanna.
Shut up.
She has an official last name.
Yes, it's Jones apparently. I think it doesn't work for MJ. I think they can grow her into what MJ is supposed to be. But I was like, this is a really great character who's nothing like the character you're supposed to be portraying. So there's a little bit of a disconnect for me. But I like Zendaya or however you say her name.
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Cool. So I guess I'm okay with it.
I agree 100%. The idea, the concept of Zendaya as MJ, I liked. The idea of Zendaya playing this other character named Michelle, I liked that character. That character being MJ, I'm like, I don't know.
I'm
That being said,
excited.
they do end it on kind of a she's gonna change note.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like she will grow and hopefully turn into the MJ we want her to be. Because
She's not quite.
I
there.
got concerns.
It's quite a leap though. 'Cause
But I'm
she's
excited
not.
though. I'm excited to see what they do with that character. I mean, fans are gonna be pissed because she's not actually named Mary Jane. She's Michelle Jones, but she's MJ. But I'm excited. Zendaya from the beginning said that she had a really small role in this movie and that her role was going to expand as the movies went on.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see how they're definitely going to evolve her into what we believe MJ should be. She already has a pretty good style, in my opinion.
Mm.
There was one outfit that she wore in the detention scene.
Oh,
I was
sure.
just like, yeah, rocking that. But I also kind of saw the MJ thing coming from the beginning.
Yeah, literally
'Cause
everyone
in the beginning,
did.
they don't say her name. Not
For-
once. They don't say her name for the first
That-
like few scenes. It's not until the middle of the movie, and they even cover up her name tag at one
Yeah.
point. And it's not until they're at the Washington Monument
Mhm.
that the teacher goes Michelle. And at that point, I was like, maybe she's not going to be MJ.
I mean, that was actually something that bothered me, was that it felt like they went out of their way not to say her name so that we wouldn't know she was MJ until they wanted us to know she was MJ. So they kept it was like everybody else gets a name, and she just doesn't for no reason. Until she finally does, and then it's Michelle, because we can't say she's MJ yet. Which, I don't know, in general, I didn't really like the character. I felt like, just as a person, she was not somebody I would want to hang out with because she seemed to
Oh,
make
absolutely.
every effort
That's the
to
point.
be rude or unfriendly.
I'm pretty sure that's the point.
Like
That's
Peter
true.
walks into the dance and she flicks him off. Why? I don't
That
know.
was amazing.
It's
I love
funny,
that,
but
though.
when
As
you
a
actually
person,
think about
I
it, as a person,
She's unlikable.
why?
Yeah,
Like
terrible
she
person.
goes
Yeah.
out of her
That's
way
true.
to be unlikable to like not connect to other people.
She's in high school, Colin.
Yeah, but not everybody else did that. She was the only person who
2
did
words.
that.
Pooh, ja.
But you don't need to bring that into the conversation.
What?
That's a
Point
We're
different
talking
is-
thing.
about a very
I'm just
specific
saying.
person that they went to high school with.
I mean, there are people out there who probably.
There are
do
people
do
like,
that.
yeah.
That's the thing is that the problem is I didn't really like the character, and now because I know that she's MJ, I know that obviously she's gonna show up and they have to fall in love. He's
Yeah.
great. He's delightful. I could see him falling in love with anybody. I can't see her loving anything at
But
all.
she already loves him, though. That's the.
Does she?
Wait, does
I mean,
she?
She's been-
every
she's
scene that
been
he
watching
leaves,
him this
she
That's the
entire
looks
thing.
on,
She
and
did
she's like,
say, "I'm not
Jeez.
obsessed."
And to be,
I'm totally
like,
not
Yeah.
obsessed
like
with
her
you.
second scene ever when she's like, well, he already quit band.
Mhm.
He already quit band and whatever else he was involved in, and they all looked at her like, what?
I caught that.
And she was like, I'm not like.
I'm not
Obsessed.
obsessed.
I'm
I'm
not
just very
obsessed. I'm
observant.
just very observant.
Yeah.
Like no, she and
Not
then
crazy,
at the
I'm just a
party she
little
was
unwell.
watching him as well. She noticed that he disappeared.
Mhm.
At the end of the movie, they give her the longing gaze when he walks up.
Yeah.
She's already very much into Peter Parker.
She
But
could
even
be into
then,
him
I
as-
get what Colin's saying because it's like, yeah, there are people like that in real life, but I wouldn't want any of them to be my love interest.
Speaking of love interest,
I liked her. I don't know.
Let's talk about Ned. I mean, Liz.
Woo!
Liz.
Wait,
Sweet
Liz?
Liz.
We're talking about Liz.
She was
Okay.
so nice.
She's cool.
I love
She was
Liz.
fine. All right, moving on. Ned.
Why do we
Wait.
always do this with the love
Does anyone
interest?
care
You
about
guys-
Liz?
Alright, so we're speaking about Ned. I don't know. I like Ned. You know, he's like the typical nerd. He's holding the Death Star. You know, like Death Star. And then when he discovers that he's Spider-Man,
That was
I was
great.
concerned about the Death Star because it fell and it broke.
Thank you.
know, the
I
Lego.
feel like I.
Everybody was like,
Literally,
That was
every-
like a $1,000 Lego.
Yeah,
As
you
much
know.
as you've seen it in the trailer that he drops it, it still was a
I
surprise.
know.
It doesn't work.
Look,
Like,
you know
he
why?
lost some of those Legos.
No, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
why?
Some of those Legos are
Because
gone forever.
you know why though? Because you like in the trailer, you just thought he was holding it, but you found out in the movie that he had just built it, which is even worse.
Yeah.
It's just worse.
What did you think,
What do you
Justin,
think?
on Ned?
I mean, I like Ned. He was the typical nerd guy that's all into, Star Wars and all that. I'm pretty sure he's a big old Star Wars fan. And, that Death Star, the moment he dropped it, I was like, no. Why? Just toss it on the bed or something. But his reaction to finding out Peter was Spider-Man was just amazing. That freak out was like, oh my god.
How
So any of us would react.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, how any of us
Oh my
would
God,
react
it
if we found
was-
out that
And
he
then,
was-
can I tell anyone? No. Please?
I might have to tell someone. I
Yeah.
don't know if I gave this secret. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I like that he
Ned
wants to be
was
the guy
so
in the chair.
great.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the
They
guy in the chair.
gave
Yeah,
it
the
They
guy in
gave
the
it
chair.
like
Watch
a,
towers.
they gave it like a name. Oh, Ned was so sweet.
Stop building Death Stars. They never last.
We don't know what happened to. They built it a second
They
time.
built
We don't know
it a
what
second
happened.
time
It'll
because he
blow up in a
like
day.
he like was playing with it again, or like he was at it. We saw the Death Star and it got rebuilt.
Do you think they glue it together, or does Spider-Man just like?
Probably use his website.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they don't.
I
Taser
Oh, but
whip.
it expires in 2 hours.
Yeah, in 2 hours it'll just fall apart again.
Taser whip.
Oh, it's awful.
That sounds like a Death Star.
What was their like kill setting?
Gabby, you're the most excited out
Oh
of
my god,
any of us about Ned. You
I
haven't spoken
love
yet.
Ned. Can I just talk about Ned for a minute? He was such a good.
Hey, Leo.
First off, he was a really good friend / enabler. Like when Spider-Man needed, okay, he was the one that was like, "Go, Peter, go." And anytime, like, okay, there was a point where like Spider-Man realized there was a tracker on his suit, and Ned was the one that took the tracker, like.
To be
and-
fair, Ned
and
fought
program-
against that pretty hard.
He did,
not wanna
but
do
not,
that.
but not really though. He was like, Peter was like, please, and Ned was like, I shouldn't, and Peter was like, please, and he was like, fine. Like it didn't take that hard. And also like he's the one that was like, yo, your suit has so many cool settings, but there's this like funny. That was
Training
Peter's
wheels.
training
Training
wheels
wheels
program.
protocol.
Oh, it's hilarious. And he was like, I'll just. And Peter's like, take it off, and he was like, okay. Like,
No,
oh my
no,
god.
no.
And then
No,
the man in the
He
chair.
said, take it off. Peter said, Ned
Ned
said,
said no.
Right, he said
I
no
don't
a
want to
couple
do that.
times.
He said, take it off, please. He was like, I think this is illegal. He was like, come on, take it off. And he says no. And then he says, guy in the chair.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
don't do
that.
Ned
And
was
then
the
he took it off.
best.
Ugh.
I just loved Ned. Also, he was a great guy in the chair. Like
He was.
the last
Yeah.
scene where Peter like needed him, Ned was like on
Yeah,
two
the
computers,
three
like
computers.
3 computers,
One
going
for
back
Happy,
and
one
forth.
for the phone, and one for
Oh
the
my
car.
god, he's just
Oh, it's
what
fantastic.
a
Let me
great,
tell you a shocker.
what a
Right
friend.
now, cross-
Also, what a
Yeah.
great like
Look bad.
not
Yeah, yeah.
It
sidekick,
looked
but
cool.
what a great partner for Peter to have like in like a and somebody to confide. It was just Ned, and he was just so like lovable. I just.
Also, he saved his life at the end.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you took
When
out the
Chalk is gonna
shocker.
kill him.
Can we
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that?
yeah. That was
Perfect
really
aim with the
cool.
web shooter.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ned.
Oh,
Nice shot.
Ned.
Yeah.
Just whoever played Ned, you're my favorite. I love you.
He's pretty
I
dope.
love you.
My thoughts on Aunt May, since we're starting to talk about her now, is you know, I like her as a character. I like how she tried, you know, making Peter's life better after all the stuff they've been through. Because you know, Peter mentions it, you know, earlier. Oh, you know, I don't want to tell her that I'm Spider-Man after all the stuff she's gone through. And you know, I like how she's trying to be hip as his best friend and making him, you know, comfortable and way better of himself. And you know, I just like her overall. She's a good character.
I
She's
agree.
a good aunt.
She's that parent that we all wish we had.
She's a
you
good
know?
mother.
That's the thing is I feel like I loved her relationship with Peter,
Mhm.
Particularly when he's preparing for the homecoming dance, and
Yes.
like
Yes.
I think what got to me the most was like he doesn't know how to tie a tie, she doesn't know how to tie a tie.
So they
She's
tied
over the back
her.
line.
YouTube video.
They both YouTubed
I love it.
it. It was so sweet.
I loved their
Perfect.
relationship and the way she like tries to support him even though she doesn't really know what he's doing. But she doesn't like she could ask him why he sneaks out at any point during the movie because she says she knows
She knows.
that he's sneaking out, but she just waits until it gets to a point where she just has to ask. It's like she wants to respect his privacy, you know, until it gets to a point where she feels like she has to ask, which I really like. I just thought, like, her as a character, she was good, but I especially liked her relationship to Peter, and I'm really excited to see that keep going.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Aunt May, but I think that Peter had a really good, like, parental figures in this film. One with Aunt May, you know, after being his aunt, his caregiver, being the person who's watching out for him, and their dynamic is so great, and she's so motherly, and like she tries to be the best mother figure that she can be for Peter. But on the other hand, you also have Tony Stark, who steps in to being a father figure. You know, he's there to save Peter whenever Peter needs
That's
to
true.
be saved, and he wants to make sure that Peter does better than he did. Like, Tony's learned a lot in his journey of becoming Iron Man, and now taking those learning, like the things that he's learned and passing it down to Peter and making sure that he's a better superhero and a better person than Tony ever was or could be. Love the line, if you're nothing without this suit,
Comes great
then
responsibility.
you shouldn't have this suit.
Yeah, that was really good.
You know what Tony Stark that moment reminded me of?
Yeah. What? No, I don't.
You're gonna like me and hate me.
Uh-oh.
The scene with Mufasa and Simba after
Right.
the elephant graveyard. That's
Simba.
what that reminded me of.
But you know what I think the best thing about that line is?
Yeah.
I feel like that line is a callback to Iron Man 3 in and of itself, which is the movie where Tony Stark had to learn to be
Mhm.
Tony Stark
Take
without
away all my
his
toys.
suit. So to come here to Spider-Man and say, if you can't be Peter Parker without being Spider-Man, then you don't need to be Spider-Man anymore. You
And I actually love that even in that scene that was exemplified, I guess, because when Iron Man shows up, Peter has no problem stepping up to him, getting right in his face and going, "You should have listened to me. I told you about these weapons. You didn't listen to me." As soon as Tony Stark steps out of the suit,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like he backs
Oh my
up,
God,
like,
you're here.
oh, and he just starts backing up, like, "Whoa, crap!" So even in that scene, they were still playing on that, like, no, it's not the suit that makes the man; it's the goddamn man
He's
in the
scared of
goddamn
Tony.
suit. He was scared of Tony. He was not scared of Iron Man.
I think a lot of people were worried about how much of a role Tony Stark would play in this movie, and he's not in the movie much.
He was in the perfect
but
amount.
he plays a very important role, and he's very perfect in that role.
We are talking about suits and what it means. So
Yes, suits.
let's talk about that.
Let's talk about Karen.
So Spider-Man has
And it worked.
3 suits in this movie altogether?
yeah, 3 suits.
Are you
Technically,
counting the third?
Yes,
we are
we're counting the
counting
third.
Well,
Never
actually, you
suits
know
up
what?
again.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
never wears
He
it.
doesn't wear
he
it.
doesn't wear it.
He rejects it and
never
never
suits
wears
up.
has
But
it.
I like
Yeah.
that
For
he
the
has
co-
the
but
third
that suit was there for the comic book fan.
Oh yeah,
That
oh my
suit was
God.
there for Infinity War, God willing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
though,
I
like,
loved that suit.
Thanos is
the
about
Iron
to,
suit.
like,
We're talking about the
murder
Iron
everyone.
Spider suit
Iron
that
Spider.
shows up at the end of the
It's
movie.
glorious. The gold.
It's
and
so
the-
good.
In
It's
the
so
black
beautiful.
and the red.
It's so
It's-
pretty.
Oh man,
It's
I loved it so
the
much.
comic fan of me was just like,
Where are the
Class.
4? You just know there's
I
4
feel like-
extra arms tucked in the back of that suit. I was waiting for that
I
moment.
just want to
What's
see
this
the
button
scene
do?
where Peter finds out that
Right?
there are extra arms in
That
the
needs
suit.
to happen in
Oh my
Infinity
God.
War. He's like, what?
And
This
Karen's
is awesome.
like, "You have 4 more arms, Peter."
Would you like to activate the spider program? I don't know.
The Spider
The extra
Protocol.
spider program.
Oh,
Spider
God.
protocol.
oh my goodness, yeah.
I feel like
Speaking of
you
Karen.
3 were the only people in that theater that were the comic book fans, though.
Oh, that's absolutely true.
For our showing, yes, we
Yeah.
were probably
Yeah,
the
the
only
first one.
comic
We caught all the reference. There was when
And no one else
Aaron
did.
Davis, Donald Glover's character, says, "I have a nephew Literally, the only people who whooped were myself, Dallas, and Demi.
And I leaned into
And he
Jordan.
wasn't sitting with
We
us. She
heard
was
her from
sitting
in front
across
of
the
us.
theater.
And-
So we both went, woo! And then we hear half a second later, woo! It was great.
And I leaned into JoJo from Wildcard. Hey, hey.
Yo.
I went to the movie with them, and I leaned into her, and I was like, Miles Morales. I feel like I was bugging her the whole movie, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She probably had no idea what you were talking about.
Okay, but we were talking about the Spider-Man suit, and
Karen.
in the midst of that, we did bring up Karen.
Karen!
Karen.
Yes.
Shout out to Karen.
Karen is the AI that Tony Stark has created for Peter Parker's new Spider-Man.
He
suit.
Good
names
at
her
creating those
Karen.
AIs.
His main Spider-Man suit throughout the movie, his new updated model.
Okay.
So,
Suit lady. Yeah.
Suit lady.
Suit lady!
Right.
Which website do you want? He's like, I don't know, you pick one. No!
That's one of the things I love most about Karen because she's basically just a person. Because the way she reacts to him, he's like, Karen, what was that? She's like, you told me the truth. You just see Jennifer Connelly like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I
You told me
tried.
the truth, what happened?
No, but I love, like, when he's trapped in the vault and he can't get out, and he has nothing to do but just, like, make friends with Karen.
Would
Like,
you
they're just
like
talking,
to-
hanging
I
out.
feel bad calling you Suit Lady. I'm gonna call you Liz. No.
No, that's weird.
That's so
I
weird.
think
like
he
Karen.
acknowledged that it was
He
weird.
did. He
He
did.
did. He acknowledged the herness of the
And then she tried to be his Liz a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. She was
He's
like,
like, oh, what if she's disappointed? It's like, well,
I wouldn't
I was
be.
Liz. I wouldn't be
I was
disappointed.
like, where's this
And it's
going?
like,
Yeah,
honestly,
Because
I like
it
that
was
part.
sweet though.
I saw
It was
her.
nice.
It was sweet, but it was creepy.
I didn't
Also-
see her.
A little creepy.
So
Also,
It was just sweet to me.
It's probably-
Karen was the ultimate bro. Like when he finally was like, when he was like
With Liz.
saving Liz and he saved her, and Karen was like, "Go ahead, kiss her. This is your moment, Peter."
Peter.
Like
This is your
teasing
moment.
at,
Peter.
teasing at
I
another
was like,
upside down
Spider-Man
kiss.
kiss.
Oh, yeah.
The training wheels protocol. Can we talk about that too? It's
The
ridiculous.
training wheels protocol was I like the protocols that were set. Like the training wheels
Yeah.
protocol and the baby monitor.
Oh, yes, the
I record everything you do, Peter.
And his reaction when she said, "Of course you do." Like,
He's like, it's called the baby moniker protocol.
Oh yeah, he was like, of course it is.
But I
That
have
was
to say, my
fantastic.
favorite scene with the suit is actually when Peter Parker is taking the tracker out of the suit, because in that moment we get to see how much of a genius Peter
Yes.
Parker actually is in the comic books and in the movie world. Peter
Sure.
Parker is one of the most brilliant people in the Marvel universe, so to have that scene in there, I was so happy.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
he's
love that
able
this
to get
movie-
past Tony Stark.
This movie does that throughout, and I love it because, like, when he's designing the web fluid, they show him writing down the formulas.
Mhm.
and,
Oh yeah,
like,
they show
making
some
it
like
in the
okay.
classroom.
In class.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I
That
like
was cool, how we actually saw it.
I
Mhm.
appreciated
Mhm.
some of those hexagons. Those,
This movie did a good job of filling in those gaps that we haven't gone before. Like, let's see him actually make
Make
the
his
web.
web.
Let's
Right.
see him actually put on the suit and how that is physically possible.
Right, he goes to the alley, he, like,
And he,
takes
like-
Because I
everything
never
out.
understood that with Tobey Maguire. I'm like, A, how'd you make that? Because that's an alien material that we've never seen before. B, how do you get in that thing? Because that looks like it hurts.
So, we talked about Miles and Aaron and all that fun stuff. So now we're going to talk about some more Marvel references. Going to take it to
Marvel.
Demi because she's whooping back there.
Yeah, I am. So there's a few that I noticed. My favorite one is probably Flash Thompson saying, "I've got a hot date with Black Widow later tonight," because Black Widow is my favorite hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films.
Scarlet.
That was like my favorite reference. There was a great one that I don't think a lot of people are gonna notice until they've watched it a few times. I noticed it first go, where when Peter goes to speak with the principal, if anybody pays attention to casting, the guy who plays the principal is actually in Captain America: The First Avenger, and he plays a Howling Commando, which I was worried about when they first casted him, because I was like, you guys have double casted. What are you guys going to do about this? And what they did to rectify that is they had the Howling Commando photo of him in the office, as if to say, this is my grandfather.
I'm
So-
from Fresno Ace.
So I think that was a really good one. Any other Marvel references that you guys saw? I know there are a lot more, but I'm not
I mean, our favorite.
Miles Morales is.
No. Miles Morales was second.
Second.
For me, anyway. My favorite was the Come On Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man, the final
yes,
final
yes,
chapter?
yes,
Is that what it
yes.
is?
I loved it. The really, really super emotional scene.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shot
Oh,
of him lifting
I'm
the thing.
crying.
Which
I remember
Tom
when he
Holland
was.
killed,
Oh,
by the
he
way.
did. When he was caught under the rubble, I saw it. I was like, are they gonna? They are. We
Yeah.
waited so
When he was
long.
doing it, I was like, oh,
They're
he's
finally gonna do that panel. Yeah, and that was,
And they had, like,
that
even
scene.
the water kind of coming down.
Yeah,
and
they had the
everything.
water
I
coming.
was like,
I thought
this is
that
the
was. I actually thought it was blood. I was like, whoa, we went R-rated because that was a lot. But no. It was the red. But yeah, the first of all, it's my favorite scene in the movie, just because
Yeah,
it's such
I
a
think it's
great
probably my
scene,
favorite
and
too.
Tom Holland's performance in that scene, is
Good job, Tom.
fan-freaking-tastic.
Shout out to you.
The fact I love that he was such a kid in that scene. Like he just became a child in that scene. It was like, help me, I'm
was-
over
Yeah.
my head. I can't do this
stuck.
anymore.
He
I'm
was a
stuck.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Peter
I
Parker.
can't move, and it becomes like I'm stuck and I can't
Yeah, I'm
move. And he was
terrified.
just like, help me, I'm down here, help
I've
me.
fallen and I can't
And he,
get up.
yeah, no, that's what it was, and I love that. And then he has to get him. I was worried that Tony was going to come in.
I was.
That's why I was
I
worried that
was
Tony was gonna come in
too.
and save him. I was like, but the fact that he was like,
But he was
I gotta
wearing
get myself
the-
out of this
the
because
suit.
I've
He
been
was
there
on-
where it's like I'm stuck. I can't move. I gotta get myself out of here. But I love the shot. Such a Spider-Man shot of the half mask, half Peter
Oh, I love
in
that.
the water.
I didn't
I
like
love
that. It was so weird.
It was a little
I
on the
feel
nose.
like they
But
like.
it's such a Spider-Man.
It's such a
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
No,
thing.
no,
I
it
didn't
is.
like the voiceover over it.
No,
that
no,
was
no.
too much.
I felt like the editing on it was a little bit off, and it looked like something from like 1998, and that's my irk. with
Oh,
it.
just the way it
the
was
way
done.
that it
Okay,
was
the
done. I was
effects.
like,
Okay, fine.
I don't like
I'll give you
this.
that.
No.
But no, I did like the fact that it was there, and then he's just like, "All right, come on, Peter. Come on, Peter. Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, Spider." I was like, "Ugh, hell yeah!" And then the shot when he's holding the
Yeah, when he
walls
puts it over
over,
his
I
head,
was like,
it's like,
"Ugh."
here it is.
I was just like, I want to go do something and beat someone up right now. Like, I
no,
I was
Fight Club.
inspired.
To beat someone up.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Oh, so good. I'm like,
That's
I'm
how
gonna go
women
climb a
felt after
building.
Wonder Woman. So
Yeah.
you guys must feel like that after every superhero.
No, that's not true. I haven't felt like that in a long time. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That-
Spider-Man's the most relatable one.
As much as I
Just
loved
the
Wonder
dude.
Woman and Logan, Logan does not inspire you.
no.
I want to stab
Logan
someone.
makes,
Right?
Logan makes me want to curl up.
Somebody
into a
gotta
ball and
die.
But it
cry.
hasn't, and even Guardians, which I did like. I'm like, no, I haven't felt that
Really?
in a long time.
He may have been your father, but he ain't your daddy.
He ain't
You
your
and your daddy.
That inspired me. I'm like, yeah, I'm so inspired to be a terrible father now. I can't wait to be a terrible dad. No, I was like, I'm gonna go lift a wall. You know? I love that scene. So that was my favorite Marvel reference, and then my favorite Marvel end credit scene
Oh.
of all time.
America?
Patience.
That was my favorite. That was the
That
That
best.
was so on the
There were
nose.
some
I
disagreeing.
love
Okay,
that.
That's
let's
enough
That
to
was
make
so
somebody
on
other
the
than
nose.
Iron
That
Man.
was-
I want to let me have her say her piece
Oh
on that
my
because
gosh.
she's the only one that doesn't feel this
Literally,
way.
well, the thing is, I got a text message before that end credit scene came on from somebody who had already seen the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "It's not worth sitting through."
No.
And so I was like,
That's even
"Well,
better.
I'm with a bunch
Right,
of people
that works
anyway,
so much
so I
better.
now have to wait."
Yeah.
And so I was waiting for it, and mind you, the first time we saw it, I was also nauseous and I had a headache.
Oh, true.
That's very true.
So we're sitting there, and it comes on, and Cap is just like, "There's something that every student, teacher, and soldier needs: patience."
Yes.
And sometimes that patience feels like it amounts to nothing. And I was just like, literally after the scene ended, I was like, and this is why I am now Team Iron Man.
No, it was
No,
so
Team
good.
Cap all the way. It was so
Thank
on
you,
the
Team
nose.
Cap all the way.
It was
See,
That was
on the
fantastic. Tell me
nose.
that.
Colin wants to
The
say a
problem
thing.
with that, though, yeah, as an end credit scene for this movie, it's funny. If any Marvel movie after this sucks, I'm gonna think about this end credit scene. I've been waiting for Infinity War. If Infinity War sucks, my patience wasn't worth it. If Homecoming 2 sucks, my patience wasn't worth it. I'm gonna think of this scene now every single time
I
a Marvel
also
movie
wanted
comes out.
an Infinity War, like,
Oh my God, put that on.
sneak. Something that's gonna be a sneak
Though,
to Infinity War.
no, see, I kind of
No.
like that they didn't do that because, yes, this is part of the MCU,
But it's Sony's
But-
movie.
well, not even that. Just this felt so much like this was Spider-Man's movie.
Yes.
This was Spider-Man's
Yeah, I
moment.
liked it.
If they did an end credit scene that was like, and also Infinity War or Black Panther or whoever, that would undercut it in a way that I feel like this movie didn't
I mean,
deserve.
Ant-Man had a sneak to Civil War, so why
Ant-Man.
not?
Because
Ant-Man was a good
it was
movie.
Ant-Man.
But like,
well,
Ant-Man.
because
But
they
you know
needed
what?
us to get excited about something. In Spider-Man, also like
But they did that with the
That
first
was-
end credit scene, with the mid-credit post.
That was a Sinister Six setup. More than anything
But
else.
Sinister Six isn't supposed to take place in this universe.
We don't.
It's part of the
They don't
Venomverse.
fucking know. Nobody
honestly,
knows.
that doesn't
No,
make any
nobody-
sense anymore because they
even
have
Feige
two of the
doesn't
Sinister
know.
Six in this movie.
I don't know.
But
Well,
let's
we-
not. That's a
But
mess.
no, I like
Let's
what
not talk
Colin
about
said, that this felt so much like a Spider-Man movie, despite the fact that it has probably the most references to the
any
wider
Mar-
MCU than
yeah.
any Marvel movie that's come before.
Oh, no.
And I like that because I'm so sick of hearing every time a bad superhero movie or bad movie comes out. I mean, I've made this complaint too, that they spend too much time talking about the expanded universe instead of talking about the movie. We talked about that with The Mummy. But it's like there's a way to do it where it just feels natural. That's what this
And
felt
that's
like.
what this
At
felt
no
like.
point did it feel like anything was forced in. It's like, no,
Well,
he
to be
lives in
fair,
this world,
though-
and this is the world.
I think
well,
it's easy
to
for
be
them.
fair though, this has been like what 12, 15 movies that we've been living
Well,
in
but
this
Marvel,
world.
but even Marvel's had the problem before.
But the thing
Like-
is,
Marvel
I
has had
think
this problem
the
before. Age of
reason
Ultron.
it works so well
Agents of
in
S.H.I.E.L.D.
this movie, for me anyway, is because we were seeing the world from the perspective of someone who is a fan of this world. Who is not just like a regular person or even a big part of it yet. He wants to be, he knows about it, he's excited about it. And so all these little references, they feel natural because he's kind of looking for them. Like he wants to see these things and so they can show up. Whereas Tony Stark, in his movies, if you suddenly have references to the wider universe, that feels kind of forced in.
That's true.
Right.
I agree with that. Another comic reference though that I did really like. We talked about the Iron Spider suit.
Mhm.
Within that scene, we also have Gwyneth Paltrow return as Pepper Potts. Thank God
Yes.
to wrap up and resolve
I
the
needed that
storyline
resolved.
with her and Tony Stark. But on top of that, the 50 reporters that are on the other side of the room, because we had the Iron Spider
Civil
right
War.
before, I got the Civil War feel where he goes out in front of all the people in the comic books and he admits,
I think that's what they were going
I'm
for.
Peter Parker and I'm Spider-Man.
Oh wow, I forgot about
I
that.
felt that in that moment when she walks out and you're like, oh my gosh, there's actually is
Yeah.
50 people. And also when Tony's like telling him,
Mm.
when he's like, you know, you put on the suit and I'm going to take you out there and I'm going to tell them that Spider-Man is now part of the Avengers. Like in that moment I was like, wow, I kind of feel like that Civil War feeling that we didn't get from the Civil War movie because we were still introducing Spider-Man to
That
the
big
world.
moment.
But to have that scene and it sort of feels like a callback to the Civil War comic, but it ties into this movie really well. And for Peter to turn it away and say, no, I'm not part of that.
That's why you Spider-Man.
I love it. That was great.
So yeah, I thought that was a really good comic.
I do want to talk about Miles a little bit.
No, let's talk about Miles,
because-
man.
But we're going to
let's
talk
do it.
about him in the
Uncle.
podcast.
We are. I don't want
Oh,
to talk
sure.
about Miles and like his
Let's
introduction.
talk about his
Yeah.
uncle.
I just want to
'cause
talk about
his
the
uncle
scene
was
that
so
he's
great.
referencing
Yeah.
because
Donald
That was
Glover.
such a good
and I know
Bang.
Jesse already mentioned it, but like
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover is my
Donald
favorite
Glover.
person. Besides Tom Holland.
Donald Glover's a magical
And,
human
like,
being.
he
should
could
be
just-
protected at all costs.
Hello, what have
Be
we here?
super low key and like give what looks like no effort in the scene. But like
He just showed up.
all
He
he
was
had to
like,
say-
I'm here.
I don't want these weapons in this neighborhood. I got a nephew that live here, and everybody's like, or the
Yeah.
three of us are
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, the three of everyone.
Me
being the three
too.
of us.
I went
You
to
were
Jordan.
Like the
I was
other,
like,
the other.
Gabby was in a different theater.
The
I
line that. Dude, I just want to like stick someone up. I don't want to blast him back in time.
Yeah,
someone back
I
in
don't
time.
wanna shoot somebody back. Or like, yo, you gotta undo this. Like
That
Spider-Man
was
tied
great.
into a car.
That's gonna
He's
dissolve in
like-
2 hours.
He's like, nah, I got ice cream
I got
in
ice cream
here.
here.
You deserve that. You're a criminal.
Every scene.
This is happening.
He kind of skips away at the end of
Yeah,
that.
he's like,
He's
You're
like,
criminal.
you're a
You
criminal.
deserve it.
It was funny because at the end of that scene when he's like coming over and he like leans on the car and does stuff like that, I'm like, that's very Peter Parker, but it also felt very Deadpoolish too.
oh, he's like,
And
tell me more.
Spider-Man and
So with them
Deadpool.
being best friends in the comic books,
Yes.
it's just kind of like that's
No,
such a
this
perfect
movie
thing.
felt very Deadpoolish. I feel like if Deadpool hadn't happened, this would be a very different movie. We got the moving eyes. We got the PG version of the Deadpool end credits.
We also
Just the animation.
We also
and
got
over the credits.
the older songs, right?
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Yeah, kind of.
Guardian started, but like
Right.
Deadpool definitely pulled forward and showed
And they all
that you can
fit so
work
well.
it a different way.
How much it
Do
was.
you guys have social media that you would like to share?
Add me on Instagram at Justin_031802. Super long. I don't know why.
He'll type it in at the
Nicely
bottom.
done,
Yeah,
bro.
it's just right here.
You can follow me on Instagram or on Twitter at Dreamy Films.
Well, I'm on Twitter as Jesse Palacios, and Instagram as Jesse Ray Palacios. Maybe on MySpace. So
What?
Whoa.
You're on what?
Music.
MySpace. And,
Music, because
Good
of music, guys.
MySpace.
Oh yeah.
I'm on everything.
And
everywhere.
Dallas's.
Yes, I am on Twitter, a king named Simba, as always. Should've
No, we're
remembered.
skipping. Gabby, what's yours?
Mine is Damn it, Gabby on Instagram.
At the Jester 1138. Did we miss anyone?
Colin.
Did
Colin?
we?
Colin, what are
Colin,
you?
what's your
Tell
Twitter
us
name,
yours.
You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
You felt like you look like you were in such pain. He's like,
He's like, I regret ever
you have
telling
nothing
you
but
guys.
regret for that Twitter.
But yeah,
All right,
so,
everybody, have fun out
have
there.
fun out there.
Bye.
Watch the movie. You can say hello world. You can say hey world. You can say what's bracking. World.
I'm not gonna say what's Bracken. I don't want to get shot.
I'm just listing your options.
I can't remember my analog right now.
You wanna, Victor? You wanna take the?
Whoa, that.
You wanna go listen to it?
right there.
Oh,
Do you need me to squish it? I'll squish it.
Okay, you squish it. It's